Alright, so this is the third session, and this is our first riding session, and today we're going to sort of put together a little bit of what we've been doing the last 2 days, but also just use these 3 new exercises to just add on and build on the overall goal. So the first one we're going to do is the long and low drill, which is harder for a lot of horses. It's going to be harder for me to show you with Millie, but if you just look at other videos of people trying to get their horse to stretch long and low, you will see other horses that have a harder time with this, but Millie doesn't really have a hard time with this. This is like her favorite thing to do ever. What we need to do with Millie more is show her that we don't have to have your head all the way down. So for her, I'm going to only do this drill for probably 2 or 3 laps each direction, just to kind of get her warmed up walking. What we don't want is them to warm up with their head up super high. So what we're trying to do is get that cue, which is kind of usually bumping with both your reins kind of under and in like this. And eventually, if you keep them having a forward motion while you put your reins under like that, it will cause them to stretch their head down, which is what you're looking for. Millie got distracted by that grass. Yeah. So normally their heads are way up here. You give them this little wiggle and this little bump with both your, it looks like this with one of your hands, but imagine I have 2 hands. And then they put their head down and you relax. Which she's already relaxed and her head is down low, so that's great. The next exercise we're going to do is this diagonal exercise. So I'm going to try to do basically like a 45-degree angle with her body. And I'm going to do that by holding my reins a little bit tighter, connected to her. So I'm going to tip her head more towards the fence now, and I'm going to push with my left leg, and that's going to push her butt out. Yes. And now if she wants to smush her head into the fence, she can, but she's choosing the better option of pushing her butt out and walking on that diagonal. And it's kind of tough to see, but we're walking straight along the round pen, but her head is tipped on that 45-degree angle. And really it's not her head and neck, it's her whole body that we want straight. So I'm really trying to push that butt over to straighten out. Let's see if we can show it a little better. Yes. Ooh, and I actually felt as soon as she did that, her back lift up how ideally we would like her to be. So that was really nice. Then we're going to do the opposite way also. So we're going to have her head facing in, her body facing in. And now we're going to push the right leg in. And that's going to push her butt. This way is much harder for her for some reason. There, yes. Now we're not on the best bend here, so I'm trying to get a better bend. But for her, for the first, and you have to give them a lot of grace. So whatever mistakes they're making, you know, accept them and get a little bit better at it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, your mom's here. Yay. All right, I'm going to have to pause this session in a minute because her mom is here. We'll give her a little update and then I'll show you the third. So we're going to go both ways. We're going to do the 45-degree angle to the inside. And we're going to do the 40... All the horses here are so hungry. 45-degree angle to the outside, or the outside like this, with the right leg pushing now. And then we're gonna do this drill, basically making an S around the poles in different directions. All right, so we're gonna collect up in this third exercise. We're just gonna basically snake through these poles. And the goal is to kind of go over them on an angle. So taking what you've been doing so far and then adding it now to these poles. So you're going to go up at an angle and try to push your butt over. Now we're going to go this way with the right leg. We're going to push your butt over. Okay, that was decent. And you can just go different directions, different patterns. You can go over just one of them. It doesn't really matter. I'll just do this like 10 to 20 times. We already did this trotting a little bit. If you can get up to the trot after you do it walking once or twice, even better, which is what we did during our little break. Then we got some trotting in. We trotted around, went over both the poles different ways. And I'm watching carefully to make sure she doesn't put her head down like that. I want her engaged through the bridle. I don't want her dropping her head and just giving up on her back. Good, better. Okay, so now we're gonna go in like this. Right leg. Good, now we're gonna right leg, push her butt around there. Now left leg. Good. And that makes sure she doesn't drop her head and stays engaged by pushing her forward with my legs. When I'm telling her to stay engaged, it's by really using my legs and pushing her forward, getting her to go. And now she wants to offer a trot, so that's fine. Just go back through it one more time. Oh, good. Good girl, Millie. Oh, she cheated on that one. So we're gonna go back around. She can't cheat. Good girl. All right, now we're gonna slow it down so you can't cheat. Yes, right leg. Push her butt. Yes. Good girl. Yes. And then making sure she stays engaged, pushing her forward with the legs, and holding her head in a decent spot. Not letting it drop all the way. Good girl. Yeah. That's good, girl. So those are most of the bigger exercises we're gonna do, and then you can cool down, hopefully with like your long and low cue, which for me is just relaxing and dropping the reins for her. And then we're gonna do a little cool down of the long and low and relax with that. So hopefully you can mix in some of that. We got the long and low to start, then we got the 45-degree angle diagonals both ways along the fence, making sure your horse stays straight, really pushing with that leg. And then the little S's over the poles, but not straight over, more at a diagonal over. So you really want to push that hip over as you're going. And that's it for today. Then we're going to do our carrot stretches, and we're going to do a little bit of backing, actually. Backing with the head in the correct position. So now I'm looking for her to back up, but putting her head down a little bit. So I'm going to give her that cue to put her head down. Yeah. Can you put it down a little? Yeah. Yeah. She's like, no, I can't. You just gotta be real patient. So I'm pushing with my legs, engaging, and also pulling and doing that tucking motion with my hand. Good. Then we're gonna ask for the backup. Yes. So I want a few good backup steps before her head goes straight back in the air like that. Then we're gonna go back forward and try it one more time. And you can do this 4 or 5 times as you cool down. So we're gonna ask for the head under. Good, and then back up. Yes. Yes, good. Good girl, that was so much better. If they do it good, you don't need to do it a ton of times. You need to do it enough to get the repetition, but you need to do it a little amount, enough for them to realize that's the right thing to do. That was really good. And now this headset looks better. She's using her back more. I really like that. All right.